Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and pardon my voice if it sounds off. I am getting a little sick because of Thanksgiving. Thank you family members for getting me sick. I feel great now. But today we're going to be talking about all of the content that is in the Walking Dead comics. This is especially for the newer people who are just getting into the comics and the show, who don't know where to start or don't know where to go next with their watch or read. There is a lot, so bear with me here. This video might be pretty long. Now, it is entirely possible that I do miss one or two things. If I do, please comment down below. But let's get started. First, we are going to start with the most obvious, the comics themselves. The comics are collected into 193 issues with a couple one-shots such as a Michonne special, a Tyrese special, a Morgan special, and a Governor special. They also have a Here's Negan hardcover, which is basically a one-shot, and a Negan Lives one-shot as well. All of these 193 issues do get collected into 32 volumes. I have all 32 of them here. They also then get collected into 16 books. I have 14 out of those 16. The books are basically the volumes, just with 2 volumes inside of them. And then from the books, they get collected into 8 omnibuses. I don't have any of those to show you guys because they are expensive. They're about $100 each. And then from there, they get collected into 4 compendiums. The 4 compendiums collect the entire story, including the Morgan special. They don't include the Here's Negan hardcover, the Negan Lives one-shot, or the Michonne, Tyrese, and Governor special. Here is a look at the Negan Lives one-shot. This is about 22 pages. This was made about a year after the entire series ended. This is the Here's Negan hardcover. I highly recommend getting these. They can get a little expensive, especially the Negan Lives, because it came out so long ago. Then also there is a Walking Dead, the Alien spinoff, which is about Jeffrey Grimes, Rick Grimes' brother, that takes place in Spain. And then there's one last comic thing other than the Clementine stuff. We'll get into that later. That is Rick Grimes 2000. This is not connected to the universe at all, to the canon of the universe, I should say. It is not illustrated by Charlie Adlard either. It is illustrated by Ryan Ottley, the guy who illustrated the Invincible comics, which I actually do have issue 75 signed by him, which is pretty cool. If you really want to get in depth with the comics, right after that you can get the Walking Dead Survivor's Guide, which this just explains some of the survivors that we see up from issues 1 to about No Way Out's arc. Some of the info in here is wrong, so don't take all of it with 100% canon truth. Like, it states that Sophia is Jim's daughter, which is just not true at all. There's also the 100 Project, which just shows a bunch of covers that were done by fans when issue 100 was coming out. There's also a script book, which I do not have to show you guys. I'll show you a picture here. It doesn't show any pictures. It's just what the script was for the first 6 issues of the comics. There's also a thing called the Walking Dead covers, which holds the first 50 covers of The Walking Dead. It's basically an art book. I did forget to mention that there is a Walking Dead Deluxe series that is currently running now, which is just the old series but recolored. It's nothing too special, but it does have the cutting room floor at the end, which shows what Robert Kirkman was thinking at the time and like choices he was going to do, such as, oh, I was going to kill this character instead of this one, but I ended up going with this outcome. It's pretty cool stuff, so go pick that up if you are interested in that. But next up, we are going to talk about all of the novels. Now, bear with me, there are a lot. There's, I think, 9 novels and 2 short stories. The first novel arc we have consists of 4 novels and 1 short story. The first novel is about the Governor entirely. This is one of my favorite books of all time. I gave this a 10 out of 10. It's just I love everything about it. I don't think there's a single thing wrong with this. But following this, you have to go and read the short story, The Walking Dead, Just Another Day at the Office, which just kind of shows the rise to power the governor has in Woodbury and how he takes control of everybody and everybody starts following him. Then right after that, you're going to read The Walking Dead, The Road to Woodbury. This novel is about Lily Call. She's in the main comics for like 2 pages, but the next, I think it's 6 books, follow her, but the first 4 books are about her and the governor. Right after that, you are going to read The Fall of the Governor Part 1 and The Fall of the Governor Part 2. These 2 are kind of lame, if I'm being honest with you. It just restates what happens in the comics for about 100 out of the 200 pages that they are each. They are really short compared to the other novels, but they're still worth the read, I would say. Okay, the next novel arc is also 4 books, and like I said, these 4 strictly follow Lily Call and her leadership as to the Woodbury people in the comics. This starts with The Walking Dead Descent. This book is absolute dog shit. Right after the governor dies in this book series, it's just it's terrible. I love everything Walking Dead, but I will not sugarcoat it and say, oh, it's the greatest thing ever, even though I do say it is the greatest thing ever. But these books are just ass. The books 5 to 8 are ass. Then right after that, we have Invasion. This one is a little bit better than Descent. It's still bad, though. And then we have Search and Destroy. This one is god-awful. I had to put on the audiobook because I could not finish reading it myself. It was just that bad. And then right after that, we have The Walking Dead, The Return to Woodbury, which is a direct follow-up to The Walking Dead, Search and Destroy. The Road to Woodbury is just terrible as well. They left it open-ended to do a 9th novel. I'm glad they didn't do a 9th novel because I think it would have been just the most stupid bullshit that they could have thought of. And this isn't even Robert Kirkman writing this. When Robert Kirkman, he wrote some of the first book and then outlined some of it. And then he outlined books 2, 3, and 4. And then Jay Bonanzinga, I think I'm saying that right, he wrote all of them. And then he had full reins to do with whatever he wanted in 5 to 8. And it doesn't seem like he fully understood the universe with the Woodbury people and like what happened with the governor itself. Now, I didn't mention this, but in The Fall of the Governor Part 1 and 2, it does retcon some stuff. Like, there's a line in there, I think the character's name is Gabe. He's talking about, the governor says to him, this isn't the Pied Piper or something like that. And in the comics, he says Pied Piper, like he questions it, and the governor says, oh, never mind, and he gets shot in the head. In this, they go in full depth of what the Pied Piper means, and I just thought it was so stupid because it wasn't like that. Now, in The Fall of the Governor Part 2, I think it is, we do see what happens when they capture Tyrese in the comics, which is pretty cool. It is pretty neat to see that. That's definitely like the number one reason why you should read that, to see that point of view. But anyways, let's get into the next novel. The next novel is The Walking Dead Typhoon, which I'm currently reading. I highly recommend this one. This is as good as The Walking Dead, The Road to Woodbury. It's about this character named Zhu and Elena, and it takes place in China, which is really cool to see. This is the second piece of Walking Dead material in the comics that takes place in another place other than the United States, which is really cool. It's just really well written here. Robert Kirkman did not write this. Wesley Chu did. And everything that he's done so far in here is absolutely amazing. I'm on chapter 12, which is page 171. And I love everything about it. I don't have anything bad to say about this novel. The final short story that there is, the final, like, something that you have to read, just words from, is in The Living Dead 2. This whole thing is not the short story. The short story is actually the first story on here. It is called Alone Together, and I love it. It does take place right after Aaron, I think. No, it's right around issue 60, I think. Yeah, it's right around issue 60. So like right before Aaron finds them or right after he finds them. This is a really interesting story that it goes on. It's I don't want to spoil anything, but it does focus a lot on loneliness and what happens when a character is alone and what a character will do to get what they want. Highly recommend going and finding this. You can find it on Amazon for like $10-ish. That's how much I got this for. The short story is only 16 pages. So if you really want to spend $10 for 16 pages, go ahead and do that. The entire book itself is $491. I haven't read a single other story in here other than the one by Robert Kirkman. Okay, so after all that, we are going to lead into the games. Now, there are 3 games in total, unless you want to count all the Telltale seasons as their own separate game. But we'll start with the 2 VR games. There is The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners 1 and Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 Retribution. I have not played them. I do not have them. I would love to play them, but PSVR is like $500. They're exclusive to PSVR and Oculus, I think. I could be wrong, though. I don't know much about those games, but I have seen a little bit of gameplay. They look amazing, and they just look incredibly fun. But after that, we go to the Telltale series. I recommend getting the Telltale Definitive Edition because this has everything. It has season 1, 2, 3, and 4, as well as the 400 Days special and the Michonne game. If you get this, you will be able to play all the Telltale games, all the Walking Dead ones. And it's such a great game. I give it a 10 out of 10 for seasons 1, 2, and 4. The Michonne game is all right. It's like a 7. And then the season 3, A New Frontier, it's definitely a step down in quality from story writing and graphic writing. The voice acting is a little bit better in it, but it was kind of rushed. They didn't have enough time to work on it, and that definitely impacted it a decent bit. After you finish the Telltale games, you are going to read Clementine books 1, 2, and 3 when that comes out. But before you read 1, 2, and 3, you're going to want to read Clementine Lives. That's just like basically a prologue for Clementine book 1. I think it might be in book 1. I don't know. I don't have it, but I have heard that they are really, really bad. I'm getting Clementine book 1 for Christmas, so I'll let you know. I'll put a review on that. I heard they're really, really bad. The art style is abysmal. It completely throws away what they do with Clementine's character in the Telltale series. But if you want to see everything Walking Dead content-wise, you're going to have to read it. Also, for the Telltale series, there are 2 short stories. There's one called The Night the World Ended, which is a prequel for James. He shows up in season 4. Also, in between the events of episode 4, there is a little bit of like a time skip. There is a How I Protected Clem short story. I recommend reading that. That definitely explains what happens in that part of it. There's also a No Going Back storyline that is just a short video. It was like a teaser for season 1 of Telltale's game. It's called No Going Back. You could also just search up Sandra/Clementine video, and that will pop up on YouTube. There is a podcast thing. It's called The Supernatural Skeptic's Guide to New Orleans. That's in Saints and Sinners. I have listened to it. It's pretty cool. It takes place like right at the beginning of the outbreak. And then there is one more game, which I forgot to mention, but that's not even... you can't even see that anymore, I don't think. It's called Overkill's Walking Dead. You can probably find a couple, CGI or whatever it's called. It's a couple just cutscenes. It's really bad. It got canceled after like a year and a half of being out. There's also Saints and Sinners Aftershocks, which I forgot to mention. That is a DLC to Chapter 1. And then that seems to be everything here. So if you guys have any questions at all, let me know. I will be making a timeline video soon, which I know my timeline is not 100% accurate to other people's, because the timeline is just so whack and all over the place that we don't know what it exactly is. It's like the FNAF timeline. It's complicated, but I actually wrote it down. So I will post a video about the timeline coming out probably within the next couple of days. So if you have any questions about anything, comment down below, and I will see all of you in the next video. See ya.